Welcome to the Eskimo experience. Battery level 120%, firing mode, Frosty.
Dr. Jones checking in for the Eski couch. I've got brother Nick, brother Timmy, brother Kaiser. How are we all, boys?
Here again. Super. It's good to see you all.
It's all
been
going.
a week. It's been too long, mate.
It has been a long week, hasn't it? So, but that's all good. So we have had a week. We have had some events played out, namely Total War. So which for the first time in 3 years, the UEF got the win.
As you say, we got the event MVP enjoying Kai's little pooch.
God, I thought you meant me. I did get the MVP. I was quite proud of that. As a general, my duties are to A, carry on like a fuckwit, B, get the shit shot out of me because I can only get killed by being shot in the head, and C, tell Adam people for awards. And I did, as I always do, I led from the front. I was up in the front line shooting the shit out of everyone. And Adam said, who are we going to give the gold medal, the MVP to? And I said, you're going to have to make that call, mate. Everyone was behind me. I couldn't see shit. So, and then he made the call and I got it. I did shoot some paint though. And I shot the mech all day. Normally I shoot the mech for about the first 10 minutes of the first game. But yeah, I shot the mech all day. So, which was good.
Yeah, nice.
Was a bit of fun.
Did see a little bit of you playing. Mike live streamed you coming out of that wall while Yowie was off jibber jabbering off to the side, not being part of the game.
Being lazy. Was that the big white wall?
Yeah.
I reckon the most satisfying part of that video, Timmy, was watching Mike get shot to shit behind the camera.
Oh, did he?
You could just hear him the whole time.
I did giggle a little.
How good was that? He did say that there was a guy. So how they had the field layout, it come down and then it kinked like that and then down. So there was a guy up here and a guy down here shooting over the dead zone at each other. And that's where Mike was, in that fucking zone.
And he got out of there real quick, eh?
Yeah. I dare say they weren't aiming at each other, just quietly. So they would have been shooting at Mike on purpose. But it was a fun day. That was the first Total War at Yarra. So I was interested to see how they were going to run it. But yeah, it worked out well. It was good value.
And Mike's come out after that and saying that they're actually increasing the size of the field for the next one.
Oh, I hope so.
As well.
I hope so. There's so many ways that place can play. But in the middle of it, there's this dirty big gully. They used to call it Dead Man's Gully. And they used to actually play paintball on it. It's like this massive like gully, and they'd have a team on each side and they'd battle down this gully. So, but that was years ago. But yeah, Mike doesn't play that field at all because it's just like it's hairy as. So, but there is plenty of scope of how they can run that area. And even like Hyperball was only in play a little bit in the last game and stuff like that. So there is plenty of scope there. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, so it was good for the UEF to get up. Like first time in 3 years, the Bush Pigs have been running over us. And normally, like the last one was the only one that it was sort of pretty close. And normally it's pretty definitive, and they just beat up on us. So it was good.
Change of venue changes the game, doesn't it?
Does. And also,
just no more hiding in their normal spots.
No, and it was good that it was 60 on 60, which was, I do like that number. We spoke about this last week, that it's a good number for that sort of game. And it really was. It did make it, you could, when you got those kills, you could really advance because there wasn't that next wave that had just come back from the respawn, like they were
just
still
star-mating.
Yeah, and that's what used to happen a fair bit, you'd clean it out, the next wave would come and clean it out, then that other wave would be back. It's just hard work. So, but yeah, it was good. What else happened around? So what did you get up to down in Vic, Kaiser?
Well, we came out of that shithouse lockdown that don't laugh. It's not funny.
Sorry, dude. Can't help it.
It's cool.
Oh, man, yeah, so thank the universe. The paintball gods were shining on us. The lockdown actually ended Wednesday night. So we were actually able to go play on Sunday. So few of the cartel guys, a few lumberjacks, local teams. We went out to Sniper's Den, had a bit of a hit on Sunday. Had a good practice actually, so it was good to be able to get a spin in because we had mandatory practice the week before, but obviously we couldn't do it. So it was good to get out there and have a run.
Yeah.
No, it's good to hear everyone jumped on the opportunity then.
Yeah. Look, it's come to the point here where if the lockdown ends, everyone just goes, which is great.
Yeah.
Everyone's had the off week at the same time instead of them being staggered.
Yeah, all off 8 months.
Speaking of the lumberjacks, those guys have some of the best jerseys going around, I reckon. So with the flannel shirt and the tattoos on the shirt.
Yeah, and they've got these new ones. They got these new ref jerseys, right? And they're playing in these ref jerseys. And I said to one of them, I go, "Are they got brand new jerseys? Is that why they're playing in those ref jerseys?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I'm like, "That's like when you're a kid and you get a new GI Joe. I'm taking it to school."
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. So,
Can't save them for a special occasion. You've got to rip them out as quick as you can.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, wear it to the first tournament. It's got rips in it already. So.
I mean, they're guaranteed a few more extra balls too wearing those ref jerseys.
Yeah.
They're almost like magnets.
Yeah. Definite magnets,
100%.
Yeah.
No, it was a bounce, mate. It was bouncing off the bunker into you. I wasn't aiming for you. Fuck.
What about the other 14?
Because you do this, you get a 2-for-1.
Yeah. Gold. What about up north? How'd you guys go?
Yeah, we had a quiet week this one. It was just all individual stuff. So we're obviously on the off week for our mandatory practices. I actually sat down over the week and teed up some sessions for this Sunday with Khan, our other Eskimo brother up here. So we've got a couple of nice drills, I think, for this weekend that'll run the new guys through them. And obviously I think they'll probably hate us a little bit, but it's good for them. It's good for us. So that's all we need.
That's what it's all about.
Where's the local field up there? You going out to Valhalla?
Yeah, we're out of Valhalla there. And sometimes we get a couple of Sanford guys come across as well, which is nice, and mix it with those boys. But yeah, mate, Troy's doing good things up there at the moment, and he's completely redoing his bush field.
Yeah.
Our tournament field's nice and green, super soft, which is nice after a bit of rain, and no one tearing it up. So nice. Coming home not as injured, which is good.
Yeah, that's good. Always good when you got something nice and soft to play on. That's one thing I miss about. One thing I miss about playing at Coffs Harbour, man. Like that field is just like playing on foam. It's magic. So
I remember one weekend playing there, and we had a few too many drinks on the Saturday night, and we've gone out there the Sunday morning, and this was when he had that zipper in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
and I said, "Yeah, I'll run that one." Dove in nice and soft, and I didn't move. It's like a frigging bed.
It is magic. So it is good. I can't wait to get back up there for an event soon. So April, their next one isn't it? So which will be good.
Yeah, rush.
Yeah. So which will be good. WA, you boys are out. I saw you had an 8th member of the squad on the field too, Timmy.
Yeah, snake and the snake. It's happened on occasion. It was only a little fella though this time around.
Yeah.
So I used to obviously help run that place and run groups through all the time. So there's a field just off the side, just off that edge of the field. And there was a big 2-meter dugite that would normally live there. And I just ended up calling him Dougie because you'd see him every couple of weeks sort of thing. He disappeared by the time the groups came through. He's just disappeared. But it'd be like nice little warning. He's like, "Hey guys, just stay off that embankment up there." It's like goes up to the tournament field. There's a couple of guys training, leave him alone. Oh, and my mate Dougie lives on there as well. He doesn't like people disturbing him. I'm like, huh? It's like, oh yeah, it's just 2-meter dugite. Yeah, cool. They just stay away. But yeah, no, it was good. We another heavy drill session for us. I think we were talking about maybe doing some scrims this coming weekend, but I think we're going to still sort of keep honing in on those basic skills and a few extra things we're working on.
Yeah.
It's good. It's just, as I said a few weeks ago, it's what we did in the lead up to going to Europe, and it really sharpened us up. Like it became about millimeters rather than inches sort of deal.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's good. It's something we haven't done in a long time, and that's more out of laziness from our part. Like we just got stuck into, like everyone likes playing games. You want to get in there, have some fun, train, get out, sort of thing.
Yep.
But it really forced us, and we got a good 3 years out of that just base of really going anal on it. That first year we went to Millennium, then allowed us to ease off for a couple of years after that.
Yeah.
We didn't really see too much drop off in where the skills were at. It's just more something we wanted to tighten back up on. So I think that'll still be our concentration, I think, going forward. But it was nice. We generally train Sunday Arvos just because Stevie works in the mornings.
Yep.
So it's just so when everyone can get there. This week we're able to get in the morning. I think this coming weekend we've got a long weekend. So again, that means we can get in early. So it was nice, beat the heat of the day. We're back up to proper summer weather over here. So it was nice to get a training run in yesterday morning, go straight to the beach, and then straight over to the pub and grab some grub before doing food shopping and all the fun, boring things for the weekend.
Yeah, perfect.
It sounds pretty good first 2/3 of the day, dude.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, Timmy, I'm sure like a lot of people listening to this one would be interested as well. Without giving too much away, what does a training session like for you guys look like?
No, fuck that. Give it all away. Give it all away.
No,
blow by blow.
I'll give it all away.
Like, so I'm sure, like, and I'm sure, like, a lot of people would be interested. You know, like, you know, people just starting out. What can they do at their local fields? You know, not chewing through bags of paint, doing scrims.
Yeah.
Like,
So
what are some of those things?
I was going to say when we're doing a drill week, it's literally a bag of paint. So we're not trying to rip through. If we're going to do like a breakout drill, or whatever, then yeah, go grab your box like you normally would. So we'll generally start with 10 minutes of like core cardio, for want of a better term, but it's generally run by Faz. He's an ex-F45 head coach. So he'd run us through one of the F45 sort of setups, or Dan with one of his CrossFit sort of stuff. So we'll do that, get a good heart rate up, then break down. We'll go into either be basic snap shooting drills. A lot of them actually been the last couple of weeks. We've been taking a few cues off Jason Edwards from Tempo Damage. Yeah. He's been putting up some really good videos and awesome. And we're just taking some of those and adapting them because it's like all of us, we've all been playing long enough that the same old drills become boring and mundane.
Yeah.
So we'll go through those, and then we're doing some, like, we moved to the opposite side of the field after the snake came out. But we had some, just like snapping out of the snake, like coming out low, coming high. A lot of the stuff you see, like the Dynasty guys, the Heat guys. But everything was, so we had not just SDK, we had a few people, I know my girlfriend was with us. We had a couple other guys from Impure. One of the young fellas from Western Storm out with us as well. So we just slow down behind them and just go, look, stop, work on mechanics of everything. And even for ourselves, though, we're going through and we're talking percentages of hits and misses. And then when you're hitting, where are you hitting on the target?
Yep.
So paint was reasonable quality, wasn't the greatest. So it's like, if you had the odd couple of swinging balls, we learned a couple of years ago, you kind of have to, it's like everything, you got to suck it up.
Yeah.
But then what we were doing is judging it out of the barrel. So if the first flight of the ball is straight, okay, cool, I'm roughly on target. And if it's swinging away right at the end, what are you going to do? You can't judge a curveball. But if everything else, if you're constantly missing high and right, someone's behind you telling you, pull it in tighter. So that's the best thing for anyone that's getting out and starting with these drills. Everyone's been told the same thing, start slow. Then start going through repetition. So we won't just go through one repetition, then the next person jump in. We'll usually do anywhere between 2 and 4. So it'll be, most of our drills will be a combination of a snap, a wrap, and a run. Just to change heights, obviously motion, wanting to get those first couple of balls on. So it's all well and good if you can. I had a good one yesterday where I was on target, like pretty well. I was pretty happy with myself, but the first ball, I was leading it too much. So I spent the first little bit just tightening that back up. So the first ball coming out, and that's on the run. That first ball was bang on target. And then we just keep going through until we were getting perfect runs. Then once you got a couple
I guess that's a good point.
Cool. Next one.
Good point you make there too. Like a lot of people you see out at the fields drilling, you know, do that one rep through and then they just jump on the back of the line, and it doesn't give you that chance to change, you know, and actually fix that first ball or fix that.
Well, it's a good way of it helps you bring everyone else into it because they're standing behind and looking for you.
Yep.
Which I think that's where you were about to go with it, Jonesy.
Well, I was going to say, it gets everyone else involved. Then instead of just doing 1 rep back of the line, 1 rep back of the line, and having that conversation over there. But not only that, if you're doing 1 rep back of the line, you're starting from scratch every time. You're not building that muscle memory that you've got to get.
Yeah.
You know, so
particularly under that fatigue as well, Jonesy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's people underestimate the ability to perform when you're breathing heavy or you got your legs are burning, any of that shit that happens. If you can train to perform when you're at your worst and you can still get the performance when your body's taxed and you're fucked, that's the time to do it. Yeah, exactly. And that's like people that go out and train and they train with 1 pod. You know, like that shit like that just does my head in. Like if you're going to train with the gear you're going to be playing in, or they train in a singlet. You know, I've done it on the 40-degree days, but, you know, playing in a singlet, you're never going to play in a singlet. So
I'm going to keep quiet because I like when we're doing drills, I'll wear like joggers, shorts, and a singlet.
Yeah.
But in my defense, it was 36 degrees over here yesterday.
Yeah.
It's
Western Australia, mate.
That's the difference, you know. But, you know, if you're going to train, you might as well, give it the same effort you're going to give it a game because that's the reality of it. You should be doing that. So gear up, put all your shit on, put your fucking jersey on, get it ripped and torn before you even play the tournament in your fresh jersey.
Plus, you do pick up bad habits overseas, Tim, which you've got a fair, i.e., taking
very obvious the one. Yeah,
but you've practiced a lot in Europe, I suppose, where they do same in the States, where I've been a lot, where they just wear a singlet and the States is shocking. I get shot out of a Dorito, take 1 step away from the Dorito and rip their goggle off and start doing, and I'm like, far out, man. Like,
that still spins me out. Like, thankfully, none of that we get that bad. Like, sure, guys wearing singlets and that's your choice. Like, realistically, though, I know, like, we'll have odd guys. Like, Faz is a good one for it. Like, Faz likes just, when he's training, is bare bones.
Yeah.
But then that's how he plays, sort of thing. But it's also someone that's had that time and experience, and his gear doesn't get in his way, sort of deal.
I do like your snap wrap run. You covered a lot of the food groups there. That's I'm gonna steal that snap wrap run.
I'll send you the link. The one that we based it off was literally
that flow drill.
Jason
wasn't it?
Sees these, but I did message him and it's like his stuff he's putting up on the Bunker King site in his own Insta page. Guys, follow that. If you're not already a member of BKI or the PB Pro School or whatever else is floating around, there's so much out there at the moment.
Any of them, jump on it.
No one's reinventing the wheel. It's just giving you fresh eyes on things.
Jason's going to have a bit to do with off the break, I think, when we finally get the studio back up and running after we had setbacks because of COVID. But, Oceanic Studios should be ridgy-didgy again by next week. So we're looking to get shooting and set up. So apparently I've been informed by the powers that be that Jason's coming on there. So I haven't met Jason, but looking forward to it, and even more so now that you're coming up with this stuff.
He's really settled in his role as Bunker King's like social guy, and like he's putting really good informative stuff out there. There's no wall
great content.
Yeah. So, one of the best things that I spotted and I put out, I actually sent it to Dan and Stevie, was again it was that basic snap wrap move, but it was one that he had that was good for a full team. It was about flowing through. So you could have multiple guys running through the same thing, running them 2 sides and still working on their stuff. And you still have people behind watching and being able to then tell them. So things like that. Because, I mean, you look at a lot of drills. Yeah, so they basically set up, they both start at the back center. One would go out to the right. The next one would come in, he'd go out to the left. One would come in, go out to the right. And it would just work that way. It was just good for... probably the best thing for teams to learn how to train. I know that's why Ronnie and Chad and that are doing that PB Pro School, because it's to teach teams how to train as a team. It's less about the clinics and all that sort of stuff.
And that's sort of the reason behind my question. It's like you sort of try to run these drills sometimes and, everyone sort of sits out or comes in late and they just want to scrim. And it's like, well, you're hurting yourself. You're also hurting me because, I don't have the guys to snap against or whoever it is. So I think it's just really valuable insight coming from arguably Australia's best team. This is how it's done,
That's how. I mean, and again, we're getting back into it. Like we did get lazy. We did a lot of scrims, but we knew in ourselves we needed to tighten up. And as I said to you, Jonesy, when we first kicked this all off, that this year just gone, this was our longest ever off season for us. Like we didn't have any breaks through COVID. Like we had 2 weeks off. We still trained every single week. So when we had the whole 6 weeks that we had off over Christmas, we're like, right, let's refocus. And that's obviously when the discussions about what was SDK doing this year, and then the sevens thing came out of that.
Yep.
And even if that didn't happen, we still want to be sharp for whatever we end up doing as SDK, and then by extension, whatever we did for either Eskimos or SWAT, or whoever we end up playing for.
Yeah. Look, I myself, I know since I moved to Sydney, I have not done a day of drills since I moved to Sydney. And that was, you know, what's that? Almost 18 months ago, almost 2 years ago, 18 months, 2 years. Prior to that, living in Tamworth, I didn't have anyone that I could run scrims against. You know, like when I first started playing in Tamworth, there was one guy that played tournament paintball. That was me. You know,
so drastically affected your training technique.
What's that? Sorry.
So circumstance drastically affected your training technique.
Yeah, 100%. And then when I moved to Sydney, and I'm like, fuck, I can run scrims. This is great. I can get, you know, and the good thing about it, it improved my field awareness and improved my communication and that sort of thing. And notoriously, like when I first started out, my communication was shit because I was used to playing with
on your own.
Yeah, I didn't have to communicate. Yeah. And then I had another bloke, Craig Singh, started to get into tournament paintball. So then I had another bloke I could train against, and fuck, how good was that? You know, I had someone I could snap against, you know, and you know, which was good. But, you know, some things I used to do, like when I first got to the field, being at Tamworth, star pickets were always close. So I'd warm up by just snapping into star picket. And that's that whole aim small, miss small mentality. So, and I stand by that.
That's a huge thing, man.
Yeah. And that's, and that was like, as soon as I got there, I'd just do that to start. I'd just snap right hand, left hand, and I'd do a hopper into a star picket, you know. And would I get everyone? Fuck no. But the aim was to just get my eye in so that I was at least getting some of them, you know. And that's a great tip I can give anyone. Craig, when he started playing, Ryan Greenspan did a great little video of how you could make a target out of shit at Bunnings. And Craig made the target out of shit at Bunnings that were adjustable arms on them with bucket lids and shit. And they were the best thing. You know, we could put them behind a stack of 40-gallon drums and we'd have one down low on that side and one up high on that side. You know, it was fantastic. So if you haven't seen that, check out Ryan Greenspan's YouTube channel and look up that video on how to make a target, because it was, mate, they were the best targets he ever made. We ended up taking one to Dubbo, and there was one at Dubbo and one in Tamworth. It was great.
I've actually the privilege of going to practice with Dynasty when Oliver was playing. It's mind blowing. I can't describe it. It's mind blowing. They start at the crack of dawn. They shoot a skid of paint. A pallet, and by lunchtime, you know, I'm tapping out, like I'm spent, gassed, and they just go and go and go and go and go, like
And that was like
when
Chad,
thing, like if you, sorry, go John.
On that go and go, like when Chad come over here and play, because you know NXL they play 2 games one day, one game, and you know we played the Friday Super Sevens where we played 4 games. You know, and in November, it's notoriously fucking hot in Sydney. And I said to Chad, how do you cope, man? You normally do 2 games a day. And he goes, oh, man, this is just a training day for us, just running points, brother. You know, so.
Yep.
And
I've seen he's not lying.
Yeah. And that's it. So.
And Camp Pendleton, you know, it's 40 degrees out there as well in San Diego, where we go at Camp Pendleton. You know, you got Aftermath and the Ironmen and Dynasty and whoever else is in town just beating each other up. You know, they do their own thing because a lot of fields.
Yeah.
But you know, then they come together and it's like Chad said, they'll play 40. Like I can't even count how many points they play after they've done 6 hours of drills.
Yeah, just crazy. So.
It's budgets. Like it's the big thing, guys. It's like, again, Nick, for new players, if you're a part of a team, God damn, guys, just pull your paint. Like,
yeah,
don't even think about it. If it's a drill week, everyone's tight on cash, cool. Dial it back, single shots, all that sort of fun stuff.
Yep.
Other than that, throw your paint together. You're all part of the same team. Like, help each other out. It's the same. It's one of the first things I tell teams when they come over here. Like, you see, everyone has their individual pods, everyone has their individual paint. Like, get over it. Like, real quick. Like, that pod's going to be mine in about 2 minutes. You're going to probably end up with about half a dozen of mine. It's like you walk around every team in Perth. They've all got team pods from Dardas, from a French team, from whoever that none of them have been exposed to other than us. It's part of it. So trying to get them out of that whole mindset of, okay, don't flog people's pods deliberately. Happen to leave them on the ground. It's the pod economy.
Mate, I'm all for the
you'll
pod
lose some,
economy.
you'll gain some.
All for the pod economy. But if someone says to me, hey, bro, that pod there, that's mine, depending on who it is, I will give it to them. If you're a dick about it, man, no, you're not getting your pod.
Yeah, come get it.
It also depends what it is. Like,
but if
you
you're
want to leave a dye lock lid out, or one of those Virtue ones with the buttons, you can have them back. I don't want them.
100%. There was a guy at Total War. I picked up one of his green ones, like his green pods, and he goes, "Oh, that's my pod." I looked at it. Yeah, you're right. It is. Gave it to him. Went back, and I was going through the bin of pods that I'd picked up the rest of the day, and I'm like, "Oh, there's 2 more of his pods. I'll go give them to him because they're shit." I just didn't want to end up with one of those in my pack.
There's pride. There's pod pride.
100%. That was, I had a lock lid. Who wants a lock lids? Who's down for those? Yeah, here you go, brother.
And then you look like a good guy giving them out.
I know. How is this?
So good.
On the training thing, like, it's all good and well. Like, I understand getting teams to training. Like, I play on the Eskimo Brothers. Last year we had Timmy in WA. We had Macca and Banks in Brisbane. We had Jamie in Dubbo and myself in Sydney. We had Damo over in WA with you. So for me, training has always been a struggle for me to get a team to training. And that's always something that's the reality. Got 2 of your team at training. You've only managed to wrangle 2 of the boys to training. What's your go-to drill? And we'll start at the top with you, Nick. So what's your go-to drill if you've only got 2 of the boys at the field?
I like to get a bit of cardio in as well. So I like to do like a corners drill.
Yep.
And it starts with, you start in opposite corners of the field and you've both got to finish a lap before you can start shooting at them.
Yep.
So if you're faster than them, you can start shooting them early and try to, hit them on the run or whatever. But if you both get back to your bunkers, then it starts into a one-on-one. So, trying to, lose the guy and win the one-on-one. And then you play best of 3. So finish that point, straight back into it.
Yep.
And you'd be surprised at how much that takes it out of you, just doing that little one and then being straight focused into a one-on-one. So some people would be.
It's a big run.
Yeah.
We used to do something similar where we'd leave our guns at the 50 and you started at the start gate, had to run through, grab your gun, and you couldn't start shooting till you got to the other end of the other start gate. So similar concept of get your heart rate up, get your breathing a little bit heavy before you start doing it.
Yeah.
So good call.
And you can always alter it too. And when you get to, you get from one corner to the next corner, at that corner, you've got to hit a snap before you can make the next run.
Yeah.
Make the run, get to the next corner, hit a snap before you can make the next run. And then you're obviously rewarded for being accurate instead of just being stupid smart.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
That's our go-to anyway. Just a couple guys.
Cool. Timmy?
Look, if you've only got 2 guys, pick a target, like work together. Rather, like, you can snap against each other quite easily, and then you can take that as intense as you want to. Everyone's done the old one-shot check-in if you want to and all that sort of stuff. That's great. But one of the benefits that we saw is if you've got those targets like we were talking about, if you've made a nice small target, set it behind a bunker, just set up. It can be either a basic snap, it can be a running gun, it can be a wrap shot, it can be both if you've got multiple targets. But the player that's not working with you at the time, they're watching and they're picking on you. They're like, right, you're pushing too much out. You're not hinging off your hips, not enough. Or use it. If you've only got a couple of yourselves there, use an opportunity to get better. And you can only fix so much of that by yourself. Like, you can know whether you're hitting the target. That's great. But you don't know if your mechanics are right.
Yeah, you're not going to see. If you've got someone else there with you, they can pick on your mechanics. So they can say, yeah, on that run, you missed high left or you're shooting way low or anything like that.
it stands whether it be 2 of you or 20 of you. It doesn't matter. That's my biggest thing. It's like the drill to me doesn't overly matter. Just more so outside of just a straight one-on-one snap.
Yeah.
Work together. Have someone watch while the other one does the drill. And then go through, again, like we said, do a couple of reps, then switch.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Get the mechanics down.
Kaiser?
Definitely stealing heavily from experience overseas. Starting in a corner, opposite corners, and race to 50 Dorito. Seen the guys use that a lot overseas. We do that. I'll do that if there's a couple of us. We'll do that. Or another one, again, stealing from Americans, is corner snake and the door into the snake, and just practice calling that code, whatever it is, for your guy to go.
Yeah.
So it's in his brain. So the trust is there. You're shooting wherever you're shooting, and when it's safe for that guy to go, and you call that code word, they just go.
Yeah.
They don't need to look. They don't check. They don't think. Whatever. They know. So you just drill that over and over and over into their head. So when they hear that word, they go.
Yeah. Take out that reaction time where people get shot. So,
but a lot of the time, we'll do the race to the 50 Dorito.
Yeah.
The building the trust is a huge thing, though. Like,
that's from
that's
100%.
And that's what we saw when we went from. So that first year we went Millennium, we played Division 1 all year. Then that earned us our promotion to semi-pro. That was the biggest step we saw when we made that second year jump into semi-pro when it became the NXL. Is you were then mixing with more pros like the Sevens is, but you're mixing with a higher general talent pool, and the reaction times were just. It wasn't so much reaction time; it was trust. It was just.
They hear that word.
Go.
Yeah. Like want us to use bingo or cowboy, a couple of keywords
that's looking after, guys. Cowboy Indian is actually a cool one. If you can find that one out, I'm not giving it away because it works really well. But letting someone know when they're on their own and getting looked after.
Yeah. Bingo's good as well.
Yeah.
But just building that. So as soon as they hear that word, they're robots. Like
that's the thing. If you can get
it's that memory of that just
get rid of that reaction time where they think, oh shit, is that what he said? Did he say that? Oh, that's right, I go now. And then by then the lane's back up. Yeah,
that's right. And not feeling the need to second guess it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool. Cool. All good. For me, when obviously when I was training with Craig, one thing we used to do was the mechanics a lot, and that was one thing. You see new players a lot when they snap off their toes and they push themselves out, and just trying to get rid of that in people is a big thing. I always try and train new players, get that hip moving instead of the pushing off the foot. And having someone there to critique me on that too is always good too. So I agree with you on that one, Timmy. I think there's a lot of good stuff there. Everyone listening at home, that there's a lot of take out of all that. So listen to your brothers and use some of that stuff when you're training, guys, which is a good thing. All good. What's coming up this week? What do you got on up there, Nick? You guys out? Got the crew?
Yeah, we're out training, mate. So out at Valhalla. So you're listening to this on a Thursday night, then get your ass out to Valhalla.
That's it.
It'll be a nice drill morning, and then we always finish with a couple of scrims. So
nice. And you guys will be out, Timmy, as I trust.
Yeah.
As long as you don't get masked up. So
we'll be out there anyway, man. Where there is a will, there is a way. There's always a way. But no, we'll definitely be out there. As I said, we've got a long weekend coming up, so I think we'll actually be able to get in the morning again, which would be great.
Yeah, nice.
I think we'll be running drills again. Might run a couple of games, whatnot, but yeah, generally we're still 4 weeks out before the first NXL.
Yep.
So we'll probably start playing games the next couple of weeks, just for a little bit of it out and work on some communication stuff. But outside of that, we'll probably stick to drills pretty heavily this year.
Yeah, nice. Very good. Kaiser? You'll be out, I assume.
We will. We have a mandatory.
Mandatory.
Like I said, every weekend that we're not locked down is mandatory for me. So, we should have a good turnout. I mean, we had 17 out on our last mandatory. So, and I got a bunch of hoodies made up, and I left them at the field. So if the guys on the team want their hoodies, they've got to go to Snipe and pick them up.
Nicely done.
Yeah, good incentives.
Nicely done.
What about you, Jonesy? What are you going to
My plans, and this is going back a couple of weeks now, I've been going to go out on a Saturday, but we've had rain, and me being the old man, I hate playing in the rain. As you know, I make this point very clear that if I don't have to, there's no fucking chance, basically. So once again, Saturday, if it's not raining, I'll be out, and I will be doing some solo training, because that was something that I identified that I hadn't done. And I'd done that a little while ago. So it was good that we've had this chat about that. It's funny, we work hard to get somewhere, and then when we get there, we sort of ease up on the work that we did to get there, which is it's a common thing that a lot of people do, and I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty as fuck of it. So that's sort of a focus for me, is to get back to those basics and put a little bit more time in there. So that's my goal, which would be good.
To be honest, I honestly don't think anyone goes about it out of laziness. I think it's just more, here in Australia, none of us are funded that well that we can just go out and play as much as we want. Like as Kai said, shoot a skid and make a full weekend out of it. I mean, if you're in a team that's got that sort of budget, half your friggin' luck. Yeah. And most of us, our time at the field is pretty precious. So yeah, just you go and you make the most out of it. If everyone's there and they're playing games, generally that will suck you into playing games. Yeah, you just got to kind of bring yourself back in, have that discipline to do the few extra things that you need to work on.
This is the mentality though, because I don't have that discipline. Like I'll get there and I'll say, yeah, we're going to run some points in. Fuck yeah, I'm in, let's go, cunt. So that's why I'm going out on a Saturday, because there won't be anyone there running points on a Saturday. So it's an easy, yeah. If you can't manage the situation, manage yourself for the situation.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process. Which is good. Now we did have there's been an announcement. Dwayne announced on Monday that the City Country game has been cancelled. So there's a little bit of controversy. City Country has been cancelled. So there was a few.
City Country lineup and ran.
What's that? Sorry.
City saw the country lineup and bolted.
There was some conversations had about some people being on the team and they can't be on the team. So all the boys wrapped their arms around each other and said, well, if those cunts can't play for country, then these cunts aren't playing either. So that's how it went. So the City Country has been cancelled. So yeah. Yeah, so it's a bit of a letdown. Wow. But anyway.
I was looking forward to that live stream up here.
Mate, it was going to be. I was looking forward to having a bit of 15-man action. So,
yeah, look, a bit of sorry, Jonesy, just a bit of news there. I formed Voltron to play NXL Canberra. I'd assembled quite the squad. 2 ex-Reaper crew, 2 SWAT, 2 Hustle, and we'd called ourselves Damage Crew. And I went to register us today, and NXL Canberra at this stage is a Div 2 event for the 5-man. The Open is the over 35s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, just thought I'd take the chance then to throw that one out there.
Yeah, okay.
So,
so does that mean all the teams who aren't actually 35 have to play Div 2?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose you could say your players' ages add up to over 35, so you're all good.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who out on the squad, but damn, I'd assembled Voltron. And
no, tell us who the squad was. Drop it here. Eski Couch exclusive.
Number 2.
It can't happen now. So yeah, I had Alex Orr, Rick Bobby, Max, Varley, Butchie, Cam Bauer, myself, and Steve Krupa. So
not terrible.
Yeah. We were trying to shake up the Hawks, but
there might have been some other issues with those players on that team anyway, mate. Leading up to that,
could have been.
There might have been some roster manipulation in that team as well.
It could have been, but that was we'd ordered long sleeves.
Oh, Jesus.
I hope I haven't just killed someone with that. So
it's all good. Funny as
it's not going to happen anyway. It's not happening.
No. I believe that the SWAT guys are going up to Queensland now.
They are. And look, that happened at the same time anyway. So dreams were shattered on a couple of fronts. Yeah.
Well, if you need another over 35 player, like I'm over 35, brother. So
excellent.
Yeah, mate. Haven't you already committed to coming up to Queensland and playing with us?
Oh, mate, I don't know. Queensland's just so far. I kind of.
Isn't it the same distance?
No, it's like 2.5 hour drive for me.
Yeah.
You know, like
13 hours up our way.
Yeah, it's a fucking long way up there. I was going to come up and do a work trip, but I don't think I can make it this one, but I think I'll be up for the next one. So
right
I think I want to go and just hang out in Canberra for one, I think. So, but yeah, I'm sort of umming and ahhing what to do.
Over 35 should be shit hot, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to need a golf cart, but, it should be fine.
Oh, dear. So I haven't made any decisions. But anyway, all good. So anyone else got any news? Anything interesting? What else is nothing?
Nada. I think we're all kind of in that preseason holding pattern, and you'll get the odd sort of events happen like the Total Wars and stuff, but really we're all waiting for the seasons all to kick off proper. I know we're still trying to decide on when the first SDK 1v1 will be on.
Yep.
Steve and I sort of had a chat about that on the weekend, and he sort of mentioned that he's looking a little bit later than what originally was thinking. It's only because of his work and everyone else on our guys, because obviously we run the whole thing. So if he's running it, he does all the behind the scenes stuff. The rest of us are either reffing or coaching or doing webcast duties. So it takes a little bit of extra organising on our behalf to make sure all the boys are available, sort of deal.
Yep.
So
very good.
Other than that, I know WA is, we're starting to see everyone starting to come out. I know there's sort of a little bit of online chatter from some of the older teams that haven't been out for a good season or so that are thinking about getting back in, which would be great to see. So anyone from WA that's listening to this, if you're chasing the team, give me a shout. We'll see what we can do about getting you onto an existing, or if we can get another team up and running. Love to see the NXL sort of crack over. Like, we've had a pretty consistent 6 teams the last couple of years, and we've been knocking on the door of 8, almost 9 teams at 3 or 4 different occasions.
Yeah.
And they just haven't quite got over the line. So I'm trying to push that one this year.
Yeah, that'd be good. There's a lot of people pushing for growth at the moment too. Like when I was out at Action on the weekend, the AMS team PBG, they had flyers up saying, hey, have you played, and do you want to get into training? Messages on Instagram and Facebook, which is just, it was so good to see. Like these guys, they started playing a couple of years ago, and they're a good group of guys, and they've just slowly ticked away, gotten better, having fun, and now they're advertising for players. Man, it was so good to see that they're out there growing the sport, doing their bit to get more people playing, which was fucking fantastic, and kudos to those. So if you're listening, Alex, well done on the flyers, man. I was impressed to see it. Anyone out there, if you're looking to play some paintball, I'll put a link to their Instagram on the show notes for this. So if you want to play some paintball and you don't want to play with the Eskimos, hit those boys up. They're an AMS team, and they're looking for players too. So which would be good. More people playing paintball, more targets for us, which is magic. So all good. All right. Well, we might just leave it there then, eh? Get out there, press the flesh, grow the sport, guys. Get more people playing paintball and talking about the sport we love. So, which is good. Cool. All right. Done.
See you all next week.
Show 8 in the
See you
bag.
next week, mate.
Cheers, boys.
Guys are out.
See you lads.
Powering off.